Okay, guys, we're back this week. You know, and I say this every week, but I mean, we covered a lot of stuff last week, okay? And hopefully you guys were able to use some of that stuff. Did y'all? A little bit? No? Good. I like the honesty. You? No?
A little bit.
A little bit. And the other two are asleep. So, you know, guys, and I know that I tell you this every week, but you have to start using this stuff, okay? Start really using it, because now we're really getting in depth with what we're doing with this software, okay? So you really need to start using it as much as you can, okay? So, any questions about the stuff that we covered last week that y'all mess with, that you don't understand, or any of that stuff? No?
Well, actually, I did have a question. So the Control P, when I would use that for a new paragraph, sometimes it would indent it.
Yeah.
Like one tab over and sometimes not.
Yeah.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure if it has anything to do with the setup that you have at the time or what. That's why I like using the Shift F5. Because all I do is Shift F5, indent, and it automatically does the 5. I don't have to worry about it or whatever.
Oh, okay.
So that's why I like using the Shift F5 for the new paragraph.
There are like 10 different
Yeah.
ways to make new paragraphs.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there really are. So that's the way that I like the best. That's the way that it's worked for me, and I do it so quick that it's like doing,
Right.
you know, one thing. It's boom, 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 tab over, and I'm already done. I already, you know, it's second nature already. So the more you use it, it's going to become like that, okay? So have you been watching the videos?
Mm-hmm.
Ariana, right?
Good. I actually have a question, but you could go on and I'll
No,
ask
ask me.
later.
Ask me.
Are you sure? Okay.
I mean, unless it's
Well, my
unless
home
it's a
button,
dumb
I
question, then I'm going
realized-
to tell you. No.
I mean, hold on. So I put a little star.
Okay.
Because okay, my home button isn't working. I don't know what you were talking about the home button. That,
It's only with the speaker. It's
yeah,
only,
with the speaker.
you have to hit it like twice, 2 or 3 times, and then it'll go. It's not just one time.
Okay, but I have
So-
to press my function button, right?
You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't have to, but I mean, we'll look at it. Sometimes, if it's not working, then what you may have to do is do it. You know what? Push E.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then please do that 3 or 4 times. Because you know how I guess it's like up here, like there's the regions or field lines down here. So I don't know if that's above you. Maybe like that. I'm on functions, that's why it's not like 4 hours. Yeah, I was like when you were talking about the line lines. Because I know I did the control 1, 2, 3, 4 change like the speakers, but
Yeah, that's what it is. It's a function.
function.
Because yours are the arrows. Your home is the arrow. So that's why it's going to do that.
So I have to press function with the arrow, right?
Mhm.
Okay.
So if one of your little commands isn't working, it's probably because of that function button.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Thank you.
Did you have anything else? Did you find it?
If I find it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Right now, I don't see it.
And what the student was asking was, you know, she couldn't get her her cursor to go inside of the speaker on home, but on her computer. So some of the computers are going to be really different, guys. So don't get freaked out or whatever. Okay, they're going to be kind of different. You know, as far as like the function button, I mean, like on this student, she can turn on and off her function button just by pushing a button. Most of them aren't. It's a function. It's like a control, shift, whatever. And then it turns it off or whatever. So, but no big deal. I mean, so if a function isn't doing what it's supposed to do, then it's probably because of that function button. Okay? All right? Any other questions right now? No? Okay.
Which one are you on right now? I see
It's
that
block
I like
files.
because I'm trying to get there for my lesson planner, but it's not.
You can always find it up here, guys.
I know, but
Auto includes. It's going to say it right here.
I know that, but I'm not seeing it in here. Oh,
It's on the it's on the more, not the class, the more. So it's further down.
auto includes, got it, thank you.
All right. So we're going to talk about auto includes, okay?
Ready-made and reusable text, like parentheticals and cover pages, are called block files. You can use either your computer keyboard to read in, such text, or your steno keyboard for auto-include strokes defined in your dictionary.
And this is what they're going to talk about, okay? This is where, you know, and maybe I should have had y'all bring y'all's machines today, but it's no big deal. We're doing this. It's going to happen, so it's no big deal. So what they're going to show you how to do is how to do stuff on your machine, where you do strokes, and it's going to automatically put these strokes in there. It's going to put an auto-include parenthetical thing in there by something that you stroke on your machine, okay? Pay attention.
Here's where I'd like to read in the text from my sworn block file. The speed key to do so would be Alt-R, as in read. But you can also click on the read block icon on the toolbar.
Alt-R. Do it right now. Alt-R. And see how it brings up? If you have block files, it's going to bring it up. If not, then it's probably just going to bring up your files.
Exactly,
Yeah.
that's all.
And that's okay, because I have the block files for you.
So mine came up with some block files.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes? No?
The same thing came out the open file.
Okay. And that's okay. No big deal. Because I'm going to give you mine. Okay, so it's going to make it easier for the exam, stuff like that. So we'll set it up that way. Okay, and then whoever you go work for, you can kind of modify them however you want to. Okay?
Cool.
Or use the block menu. Now I'll select my sworn file and open it. And here's the ready-made text that's been inserted for me. Let's create a dictionary entry that will let me write the word.
Guys, pay attention right here. This is really, really important stuff. Okay? Pay attention.
Let's create a dictionary entry that will let me write the word sworn twice and have Eclipse automatically include the text from my sworn block file. Eclipse even offers help for such special dictionary entries. So here I'll press Ctrl E and then A couple of times and the Enter key, which tells Eclipse to prepare for an auto-include entry. Now all I have to do is type in the name of my block file and put this in my dictionary. And here's the text that was read in for me automatically.
You see what they did? I'm going to back it up, but I'm going to explain it first. So you do, when they do, you know, okay, swearing the witness, sworn, sworn, okay? Now you're going to global it, which is what?
Control G.
Control G on this one because it's two strokes. So it's going to be sworn, sworn. G is just one stroke, remember? On hyperkeys. If you do it twice and it's going to put G in the box and start typing stuff out, then it thinks that you want to. So it's Control G on this one because it's two strokes. And I'm going to back it up and show you.
Is type in.
You're going to drop down this little box right here. Remember the special entries? And you're going to do AA till it comes to auto include. The auto include means that it's going to read in a block file. Okay? So when you select that auto include 99 times out of 100, and I've had it where it doesn't, but it usually brings up your block files. So you just go in your block files and select the sworn, enter. It automatically puts that in there, because if you have it all in caps and you put it like this with a capital S, small W-O-R-N, it's not going to do it. So it needs to be the way that you have it in your in your block files, because if not, it's not going to be able to read it. So if you have a sworn witness and you just put sworn, it's not going to do it. Okay? So that's really important that you do it this way. And a lot of times it will. It's going to pop up your, with that auto include, it's automatically going to put it up. So it's automatically going to set it up the way that it needs to be set, and the prompt's going to go exactly where it needs to be. You don't have to mess with anything. You don't have to worry about putting the brackets. You don't have to worry about putting this include, none of that stuff. Okay? All you have to do is do the right steps, type the right thing in for the right block file, and it's going to get in there. So now every time you do sworn, it's going to put that witness where the witness was first duly sworn. Okay? Same for lunch, same for bench conference, same for off the record discussion, all of that stuff. Okay?
The name of my block file, and put this in my dictionary. And here's the text that was read in for me automatically.
Got it?
Yes. How many block files do you have?
A bunch. A bunch. But I don't use a ton of them. Okay? Now jury let out, jury, all of that stuff, I don't use it. So I don't have to worry about a lot of those, so it's not that big of a deal. And we'll kind of go through them later. See, like this, whereupon a discussion was held out of the hearing of the jury. Yeah, no, I don't use any of that stuff. And you usually want to make these usually one line. Now on some of them, like when you're taking a deposition, it's going to be a little bit harder. And you'll see the setup, and I think you did see the setup, where it says witness, and it has like witness centered and bold, and then underline under that, it has a parenthetical that says, whereupon the witness was first duly sworn to tell the truth. Okay? So that one's going to be 2 lines. All right? Now your title pages, stuff like that, they're block files too. So it's going to be pages of stuff.
Right.
But when it's a parenthetical of going to lunch,
Right?
and you do lun, and you put, whereupon the judge said that it was okay for us to go to lunch, so we went to lunch and we came back at 1:30. Seriously? No. All you need to do is just put a brief parenthetical of what you're doing. Whereupon a lunch recess was had, or a lunch break was had. Something simple. Just to tell the reader what happened. Okay, and that there was a small break. Okay? Keep it simple. Any questions? Okay, so what they're doing here is they're just kind of explaining that if you want to create these things, you can create them on your own, okay? You can create all of these block files on your own. If you want to, Help yourself, okay? But if there's one that you want to create, then this is how you do it, okay? It's a Control D. Do it now. Control D. And guys, you can do this with anything. So I was telling the class last week, so if you got to watch the video, you know.
Yes.
Okay. If you watch the video, then you know. So if you want to put strokes in and you hear a word, what was hypoglycemic? Okay, and you're like, oh man, hypoglycemic. So you stroke it on your machine, you know what, it's not in there. Okay, no big deal. You can do it on your machine and then highlight it or global it and put it in there. Or you can do Control G and you do the steps like that, remember? Yeah?
Yes.
Okay. You can do, you know, on the multiple strokes, and when you do Control D, you know, it brings this up. And you can move these around too. So if you know, if you want it more centered, you don't know how to do that, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Just kind of put your cursor on the blue or the, you know, any part, and then just hold down and then just kind of shift over a little bit while you're holding down also, okay? And then you just do this, you know, if you want to do a stroke, H, O, and then next stroke, blah, blah, blah. So you can do as many strokes as you want, okay? So just in case you said you watched the video and you really didn't watch the video, I'm going to show it to you again, okay? And that's how you do it. And then you press OK. You can even do like letters. Like the letters on the keyboard, you can do them. So if you want this T, pressing T is not going to do it, okay? So you almost need to come over here and do it. Now if you press T again, now it will do it. But if you press the first T, then it's going to press the first T. So you can do the letters on the keyboard to match what you're doing here, okay? And then you press OK, and then it brings you to this. Now, what do you want to define it? And it's going to go in your main dictionary. Is that what you want? Yes, it is. Okay? So that's how you do it. Guys, use that. It's really good. It's really good stuff. Kind of a short little lesson right there, but that's in a nutshell what you do, okay, to create your auto includes. And we're going to do that. It's coming quick, coming pretty quick, probably within the next couple of weeks, week or next couple of weeks, okay? So we're going to start bringing the machines and then really start doing some stuff, and then start learning like speakers and stuff like that. It's going to get really good. Or really bad, however you look at it. All right. Any questions about that? Auto includes?
No.
No? All right. Auto replacements. How do you zoom in?
Control Shift F7.
Okay. F2,
Speaker list.
3,
Question.
4, 5,
Fine.
6,
Is caps.
7,
Whack.
8.
Is there something for F8?
Yeah, it is. We really hadn't gone over it, but there is. It's the paragraphs.
Ah.
Remember? Push F8 right now. And that's the paragraphs, remember?
Yeah.
Remember?
Yes.
Okay.
Or the shift F5. which
What's
is
F9?
easy. Dictionary.
Dictionary. Very good. Wow. Very good. All right. Guys, I'm going over that every week, okay? We're going to have that down pat. If nothing else, you're going to learn those Fs. And not the bad Fs, the good, the F, 1, 2, and 3, not the others, okay? And on the, y'all using the hyper keys too?
Yes.
All of that stuff? Guys, can't stress it enough. What's the endings?
W.
Delete,
D.
insert,
In.
mark,
And
make one up.
E for edit.
E for
E for,
edit or open the file?
E is to go into a block, into a file, into a block file, I mean, not a block file, but to insert in a field, in a field. So do E, and see if it'll go in there. It may not.
Ooh.
Did it?
this is no form filter.
Okay. That's for the form fields, okay? That's the blue things where you put the witness in, the date, style of the case, cause number, remember? Yeah,
Yes.
no,
To insert into the form fields, when we put our name in, right, things like that?
Yeah.
Address,
Yeah.
the plaintiff, the attorney.
yeah. And how do you cap, Ariana? Toggle on the cap.
A, on hyperkeys?
Yeah.
On
Oh, that lit. Man, you have been watching the videos.
I'm not lying to
Atta
you.
girl. Everybody else
I was
does, so I
gonna
just
say
figured
the
you
oops,
were
but
too.
the easiest one, but
Yeah.
Right.
All
She
right.
didn't ask us about Z. Use that all the
That's the
time.
easy, y'all better know
That's
that
why I
one.
say.
How to get in and out of hyperkeys. Is what?
Alt Z.
Alt Z. Everybody say that. All right.
Let's see how to use auto replacements for error prevention and speed typing. Settings, programming, auto replacements. Eclipse installs a few hundred auto replacements to prevent typing errors. I'll use the modify button to see what this first one means. So if I accidentally type the word can as ACN, Eclipse automatically replaces it with CAN. You can remove items from this list or add without limit. Auto replacements are great for speed typing, and the steno that's already in your head makes great shortcuts.
So this is kind of like a shortcut thing, okay?
Cool.
Whatever, you know?
No, like it has the list there.
Yeah.
For if you want to memorize them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's really nice.
yeah. So it has things in there already, you know, as kind of suggestions of like what other people use, okay? And what you usually use like in StenEd,
Right.
okay?
Um,
But, I mean, this is kind of the same as just putting it in your dictionary. It's kind of the same thing.
How did
But-
we get there? Settings, programming?
Programming,
And then?
And then auto replacements.
yeah, a replacement.
Is there not a speed key to get here? I'm.
Oh, now you want to teach a class? All right, yeah.
She wants to write the
Jeez, lady.
software.
Yeah. So, you can go in there.
Eclipse automatically replaces it with CAN. I'll use the modify button to see what this first one means. Eclipse install.
So it goes in there or whatever. So you go in there and it has all of these things with A all the way to Z. So you can tell how small this thing is, that it's going to go a long way. And you can go in there and get some great ideas of, you know, some of the briefs that they use, okay? And there's other ways of doing things, okay? I mean, people misstroke stuff, you know, why you do that for that, I don't know. I mean, you know, really what it is if you ever type it like that, like type it out, then it's going to come out like that. You know, and what's
Right.
the one that I do all the time? There's one that I do all the time, and it automatically fixes it. That. And I always do TAHT, and it just corrects it. It already knows. So that, if you have something with that, not necessarily that, but if you have something with that you're messing up on something all the time that you type, and you know that you're going to do it, that's what this thing is kind of for. Okay? So it's good. It's good. All right?
Installs a few hundred auto replacements to prevent typing errors. I'll use the modify button to see what this first one means. So if I accidentally type the word can as ACN, Eclipse automatically replaces it with CAN. You can remove items from this list or add without limit. Auto replacements are great for speed typing, and the steno that's already in your head makes great shortcuts. After typing the shortcut, pressing the spacebar or enter key automatically triggers the auto replacement.
You see what it's saying? So if you don't want to type all this thing out and you just want to type Y-O-N-K, it's going to put I don't think. See?
Do
See
you
what
do
it's
it that
doing?
way?
Huh?
Do you do it that way?
No.
No?
Do you write it out, really?
What?
I don't think.
No, he means
Oh.
typing it on a QWERTY keyboard.
Yeah.
That's what this is.
So if you, this is on the insert stuff. So if you're
Right.
just inserting stuff,
Oh.
it's going to know.
That's different.
Y-O-N-K. But if somebody says, well, that lady was a little Yonkers, I don't know, and you start typing Y-O-N-K and it does it, I don't know. I don't use it, so I really don't know. You know, so just kind of be careful with it, I guess. Okay? But it's bonkers, isn't it? But I'm just trying to give you a whatever. Okay? So that's kind of what that is, the auto replacements.
And that's, let me make sure I understand, that's only going like you're editing and you want to replace what's in your document already?
Or you're going to add something.
Or I can add it for, like you said, for misstrokes that constantly I'm doing something, like you said, like you did the TAHT, right?
Yeah.
So is that going to, every time you write TAHT, it automatically replaces it?
Yeah.
So this is just another way of, instead of going through the global entry.
Or the
you
spell
do this
check,
way,
it
right?
automatically spell checks it for you and fixes it. So it's kind of cool. All right?
If you notice you've just mistyped a word and the system did not correct it for you automatically, just go ahead and type in the correction and then space over. Then press a Shift-Alt-A will automatically correct the error and create an auto replacement for you.
See that? Did you see that? Did y'all get that?
Can you rewind it?
Yeah. Kind of cool stuff. I mean, it's just kind of a shortcut to kind of getting there. So you were asking, is there a speed key? That's kind of it. Shift-Alt-A is
Okay.
going to do this. Check it out. But you have to pay attention.
Sorry.
For you automatically. Just go ahead and type in the correction. If you notice you've just mistyped a word and the system did not correct it for you automatically, just go ahead and type in the correction and then space over. Then press a Shift-Alt-A will automatically correct the error and create an auto replacement for you. This may
You see? So just do the Shift-Alt-A and it's going to know to go back one and it's going to correct that every time you type that. Okay?
So you have to write the correct spelling of the word next to the one that you missed?
Yeah.
So,
And then arrow back on the one that's correct. Do the Shift-Alt-A and it's going to bring this up. You want that for that? Yes, I do. Okay. Okay?
makes it very easy to teach Eclipse which words need to be automatically replaced.
Automatically replaced. Any questions? Okay.
You can create an auto replacement while you're in the globaling dialog. Just type the letters for your shortcut with the equal sign, and then the text for your global as usual. Eclipse will offer to create your auto replacement, which you can then use anytime you need to type this text.
You see what it's doing there? So when you put it as the equals, you put FM, so you, whatever shortcut you're going to use for that, which you don't want to write out Ford Motor Company every time, you know? So you want to create a shortcut. So let's just say somebody's suing Ford Motor Company, okay? And they take 9 weeks of depositions of people. I don't know. Let's just say they take 9 people in 2 days, whatever, I don't really care. And they say Ford Motor Company in those 9 depositions about 200 times. One, you should have a brief for it. You know, I would just do FM. Or just something simple. Keep it simple. Remember? Keep it simple where it's always going to come out. And you're going to do it one time. okay? And then if you do anything close to it, you do FM and then FM with the star, Automagic is gonna say, look, last time you did something close to this, it was Ford Motor Company. Is that what you want? Yeah. Check one, push one, goes in there. But this is how you do it for a shortcut. This is how you do it, like when they say, well, you know, in your opinions on that trial of this matter, Ford Motor Company, yeah, and then you dropped it. You dropped Ford Motor Company. Well, now you're having to type out Ford Motor Company. So that's what this thing is for. Like when you drop on something long, okay? And then you just type in FMC, comes up, it already knows that you created an auto replacement for it, automatically puts it in there. Okay? That's what that's for. So, when they were doing it, and I'm going to back it up a little bit, but you can do it in a global also.
Eclipse will offer to create your auto replacement, and then the text for your global, as usual. Here's for your shortcut with the equal sign, and then the text for your global. Just type.
So see how they have Ford Motor KP? Okay? And it's like, you know what? I want to create a shortcut for that, for Ford Motor Company. Okay? I already stroked it out, and that's the way that you do it, and it's going to put it in there now. But you know what? Now I want to create an auto replacement to where whenever I do FMC, then it automatically puts it in there. Okay?
The letters for your shortcut with the equal sign, and then the text for your global, as usual. Eclipse will offer to create your auto replacement, which you can then use anytime you need to type this text.
Pretty cool. Any questions?
Do auto replacements default to the job dictionary, or do you have to remember to change it to the job dictionary?
It's probably going to go to a job dictionary. I don't know. You're just going to have to check, okay? Because like on that thing, it's probably going to go to the main. It's probably going to go to your main dictionary, so you might want to check. But they stroked it correct. So they didn't do FM, you know, for, you know, what you want in a job dictionary, not a main. They stroked it out, Ford Motor Company, okay? So that one, I mean, I would probably do, company should already be in your dictionary. Motor should be in your dictionary. Ford may be the only one that's not, but I'd be real surprised if it's not in your dictionary. But it's going to be Ford, and then motor is going to be small, and then company is probably going to be small. So unless you put them together, then it's probably going to come out small. So then you just kind of global it together. Does that make sense? Okay. So we've kind of gone over this too, on how to mark a spot and then come back to it. You remember that? So shift
Yes.
X.
Yeah,
Remember?
I tried that a few times and then I don't think I did it correctly. Would go back.
Try it right now. Okay. Do Alt G, 1, Enter. Should take it to the top of the document. Okay? And just get right there on department. And you're going to do Shift X. Get on department. Department. You Shift X. Okay. Now, don't do anything until I tell you. You did Shift X? You did Shift X?
Yeah, but
Hey, wait, teaching class? Just do what I'm telling you.
Shift X.
Yes. Okay, now do Alt G, 99. enter. Okay? Should have taken you probably to the end of the document.
Yes.
Now do Shift V.
Shift what?
V, like Victor.
Got it.
That's what it did. So it marked your spot. So you can go down in that document all the way down to the end and then come back, and you don't have to remember what page it's on.
Very nice.
It's not doing anything. It's not da. Trust me, guys. Just trust me on this stuff, all right?
It works.
It didn't do anything. Hey, take it easy, lady. We're yelling. So Shift X marks it, and then you can go through and, you know, do your untranslates or whatever, and then do Shift V, and it should come back. Okay? Be real careful with some of the things that you're doing in there because it might change your spot. It shouldn't. But like if you go down further and you go, oh, you know what? I want to mark this spot too. Well, it only marks one spot. Okay? So it's only going to mark the second spot that you did. It's not going to remember the first spot because it thinks that you remarked another spot. Okay? Got it? All right. Any questions about that?
No, that was helpful. Thank you.
That's good stuff. It really is because, like, you know, if you want to go down and it's like, you can come down here and see what page it's on, but it's like, I want to see how many pages it really is. Well, sometimes, like when you're working and you're adding stuff and you're doing title pages, put the title pages in, blah, 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 it doesn't always count it on the pages. So it might say 147 right here, but you added the title pages, which is 3, and it's like, well, it didn't change. Well, you know what, I want to check it. But I want to be able to come back to this page 13 in the middle of the document, but I don't want to have to remember exactly where I was. Shift X marks it. In hyperkeys, okay? So remember that. In hyperkeys, Shift X marks. And then you just do Alt G, which is what?
Go to.
Go to page. And then you just press 999 and it'll take you to the end of the document. Oh, okay, well now it's 150 pages because it's added in the 3 pages from the 147. Oh, okay. Well, I need to go back and start working on this thing, okay? So I know it's 150 pages. You do the Shift what to get back? Shift V. Excellent. Any questions? We're not going to do the bilingual demo. Orale. Burrito, is that okay with everyone? Are you bilingual?
Y'all.
Oh, shoot. You want to watch it? Orale. We'll watch it, I don't care. I don't think I've ever watched it, so. Huh?
It's fine. I can watch it later.
That's a main. That's a male.
That's his resume.
We missed you.
Now she wants to teach the class. So I think what it's doing, I don't know.
Have you ever had to type like in Spanish, like Spanish words?
Yeah. And it's usually not like very much, and if I can understand it, which I do, then I'm okay. But if they start rattling stuff off, then no. And even if I do understand it, no.
Yeah.
Because my machine takes English. So even if I know what it's saying and I'm typing it in Spanish on my machine, guess what? It doesn't know that I'm typing in Spanish, okay?
Right.
But, you know, when I have an attorney, and he always does it, I'm taking this stick one day, I'm gonna whack him with it. But he said, yeah, más o menos. Well, I know what that means, you know? So it's not that big of a deal. But mine comes up mass, M-A-S-S, O-H-O, and then menos, I don't even know what, men, and then just O-S.
So what do you do if you don't know?
Men, no sir, because I do menos.
Oh, right.
Menos. So it's men, M-E-N, and then no sir. So más o menos comes out way different, okay? So,
What
what's
if a
that?
court reporter doesn't understand any of it? What are you
Well,
supposed
then
to
you
do?
tell them, whoa, what did you say?
So you have to ask them to rephrase it then?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, you know, and I've told them that before, you know, and I had an attorney, he was a friend of mine, and we're taking it through an interpreter. And he said, you know, okay, well, I'm going to ask you some questions. Okay. Cuando fuiste para, whoa, what? Oh, I forgot. You know, and he thinks that he's talking to the witness, you know, and he's bilingual also, so he just starts talking in Spanish, like, no. You ask in English, the interpreter right here, that's her job. She interprets. And they know, and I was just kind of kidding with them, but, you know, sometimes they just kind of get confused, you know, whatever. And then we had a lady just, you know, a couple of weeks ago was doing that. She said, well, I understand a little bit, but, you know, mostly, you know, I want to be asked a question in Spanish and then I'll answer in English. And the judge is like, no. They're going to ask you in Spanish and you're going to answer in Spanish. Okay. Well, then she starts answering in Spanish, you know. The little boy was going and she's saying the song in Spanish, and then all of a sudden, oh, and then he went to the store. What? Well, I understood that, so now I have to type it. Witness, you know. And the interpreter's like, no, you have to say it in Spanish, so now you have to go through and type all of this stuff that the interpreter is trying to tell the witness and all of that stuff so that the reader understands what's going on. So it can kind of be a mess, you know, if they don't know exactly what's going on. But if you explain the rules to them in the beginning, it's usually pretty good, okay? See what that's like.
Si vous écrivez de la même façon plusieurs mots qui se prononcent d'une manière similaire, il est très important d'en savoir bien définir le sténo dans votre dictionnaire de Total Eclipse. Le système peut différencier les homonymes.
He speaks French too?
Yeah, I don't know French, I know Spanish.
He's kind of a BA. Yeah, that cat's all over the place. So, he's a smart cat. So if you ever get to talk to him, you'll know. Any questions about the bilingual? Pretty thorough. Very in depth. All right. Okay, a lot of this stuff that we're going to go over is stuff that we've already gone over, guys, okay? And I've explained that to you. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the stuff that's pretty elementary that we've already gone over. Okay, you should kind of know this stuff. On the A, which is what?
Cap.
Cap toggle. And then the shift A, which is what? All caps. Okay? So there's different ways of doing that all caps too, and I think I told you guys about that. Shift A is the easiest way.
Right.
The other way is what?
F6. Mark and then F6.
Mark, which is what?
M.
M, and then F6, and then F6. So you might have to do it 2 times because F6 is going to cap the first letter, and then F6 again is going to cap the whole thing, and then F6 again is going to take it back to just regular. So if you keep doing F6, eventually you'll get what you want, all right? Okay, now it's kind of talking about changing the spacing. Okay, so if you want to change it from single space to double space, okay, and this is kind of how you do it. Single spacing is Alt with the dash, and then double spacing is Alt with the equal, okay? So it's going to be Alt equal or Alt this. And you can try it. Just get on something, you know, like hyperkeys right there. A little bit further down where it says hyperkey, yeah, up, right there. Just do. See how it? Did it do it?
Yes. So it's already
Do
single
it.
space, but then.
Just would be this.
Yeah. Yeah. Good? You working?
General minus.
Get it here. Here's a probably function.
Function minus?
Function of Alt. Oh, that's why, because it was already single spaced. Alt with that small one is single space.
Right. And the
So now, do
equals
it
is-
now, do Alt,
And the equals.
no, it's already double spaced. Alt with the
There we go.
equals.
Good, very good. Thank you.
You get it?
Got it, thank you.
Okay.
Super.
So if it's not doing it, then it probably already is, and that's what was happening, so. So that's how you do it,
Awesome.
okay? Double space, single space. Good stuff right there, write that
What would you
down.
use the double spacing for?
I'm sorry?
What would you use the double spacing for?
Sometimes you have to double space in the thing. You know, like in the regular transcript, it's gonna be double spaced. Okay, it doesn't, when you look at a regular transcript, it's double spaced, okay? And I'm gonna show you right here. For those of you that can't see, I'm gonna show them first. See how this is single space right here. Well, when you come to the body of the thing, see how it's double spaced? You see how it's double spaced? And it's single spaced right here.
Is that part of your title page right there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So sometimes it has to be single spaced, and sometimes in the body of the transcript is going to be double spaced. And that's why you have to do it that way. Okay? Any questions about that?
No.
And really, I think this is a your turn kind of deal. So, you want to do it all, for some reason it came in all caps. How would you do it? And they said it up there. There's another, I think it's Control
Control.
F6 or something. Yeah. Huh?
Nothing.
So it should be Mark, and then Control F6. See how it did it? So you mark it, how?
And you have to be on the word.
And then Control
F6.
F6.
And I'm going to use my function key? Maybe?
You need to?
Yes, I had to. So it's
Okay.
control function.
Oh,
F.
that's right.
I
It's an-
haven't
it's
figured
an
out
F.
how to turn my function key off yet. And it's like a talk, no? Okay.
Huh?
And if I wanted to go back,
Yeah.
let's do the same thing.
Yeah.
Mark. Control.
Did you get it?
Yeah.
Do what?
Okay, so now it's all in little letters. Shouldn't I be able to just go back and do F6 to make it go back to caps? Or is it that the caps thing?
Probably not.
And F6, I should just be able to go mark. F6. Isn't that what you said? That you said-
F6 probably just does it small,
Yeah.
so
Okay.
just go back, mark it.
Can I do the Shift A then?
No.
Nope.
Mark it.
Okay, can I do Shift A? No? I thought I could. Hyper
And
keys all.
F6, not control, but just F6.
Geriatric.
Yours is function.
Ah,
Again.
that's what I wanted to do. Cool. Okay, very good.
So the control F6 brings it down to small. F6 is going to take it back up to caps. Okay? So Veronica was asking, can I just mark it and do control F6? Well, that didn't work. Okay? Now it's just F6. F6 is capped.
Or shift it.
So it's going to cap. So what you're going to do is you're going to come back in here, you're going to mark it, and then F6, look what it does. All it did was cap that first
The
one,
first letter.
okay? But you do F6 again, now it caps the whole thing, which is what you wanted. Okay? Now I'm going to try something.
F6 again, it'll take it back to what it was.
I'm going to do control F6, and it didn't work. So what I thought might work, but it doesn't, was I did the control F6, marked it, control F6, brings it all down to smalls, and I tried to do the oops key and it didn't work. Okay? And it might be because it was more of a command than anything, which is no big deal. You go back, mark it, F6, F6, enter, or escape, ready to go. Okay? Any questions about that?
No.
Okay, they're going pretty quick now. The lessons are going pretty quick because they're honing in on stuff. There's a lot of lessons, but they kind of hone in on this stuff. It's not as detailed as the other ones.
So we're going home early?
Right.
I'm sorry? What'd you say?
So we're going home early? Is that what you?
Yeah, probably not. We may a little bit. We'll see how much we can do. One thing I do want to tell you, and I'm going to tell you at the end of the class, is we're not going to have class on Monday. Okay? So don't come in on Monday. Got it?
Got it.
I'm just gonna note it on my calendar.
Mr. Zeroni,
Yes.
what happens when my, okay, wait.
And then text everybody Monday
Oh,
morning.
right, because it, what, it's Columbus Day?
No.
Right?
My kids are out of school Monday for Columbus Day.
I'll tell you why later. But we're not having class. Yeah.
This happened to me last time, Mr. Zeroni. What happens when my cursor, I know that you said when it's fat like this, that means that I'm in hyperkeys, right? That's a symbol, but it's
Yeah.
blinking, which means I've lost my arrow. What did I do? I don't recall doing anything. I was just trying to get back up to where you were on injections because I was at the lower
I
part.
don't know why, and that's something with your computer. 'Cause I don't
You're
know why.
kidding.
Yeah. It should always be there.
Okay.
Because it'll
There,
move,
no, you, okay.
but it doesn't give you your arrow back.
All right, then
I don't know.
I'll find out. Okay.
What do you do?
I will do a cold review. It's crazy.
Okay. Guys, we've talked about dictionaries and the dictionary management and how important it is, okay? And here it's just kind of telling you working in job dictionaries, okay? And being able to, you have to select it because if not, it's going to put it in your main dictionary, all right? Which still isn't bad. If you're using terms that you're putting in your main dictionary, you can still select that job dictionary and it'll use the ones that you put in your main dictionary. Does that make sense?
So the default is your dictionary, the sub-dictionary is the job, is that what you mean to say?
The default is always your main.
Right.
It's always going to select your main and then you use that job dictionary.
On top of it.
Yeah, but it should, but I mean, this is where, and I've done it before, where, you know, he says, you know, and I just had it today, where an attorney comes in, he says, hey Dave, I'm gonna need all of the hearings from that case because we go to trial the end of November. Okay, we'll talk to the clerk, see how many there was. There was 8 hearings, okay? So now I have to go in and read all these jobs in to see how many pages they were to let him know how much they're gonna be, okay? But I go in and I start working on the first one and, you know, I've created a dictionary with some of the briefs that I use for this one case, okay? And I created a job dictionary for that one case. Well, I already read in the other jobs, okay? Are you following me? I already read in the other jobs, so they're already read in. So I didn't get to use this job dictionary to go with this job. Are you following me?
No.
I created a job dictionary with the first day that I did, with the first hearing that I did, okay? But I've already read in all of those jobs.
Okay.
So now I have to go in and reread the jobs in and include the job dictionary that I used for the first hearing because it had some briefs in there that I used that I'm gonna be using for all of them. You know, and just for example, and I can't even remember the name of it, but I was working on one today and the last name was Segura, okay? S-E-G-U-R-A. Every time this case comes in, I write seg for Segura. There's no way I'm stroking that out every time. And I already know, when it comes in, I already know the brief that I'm using for it every time. So, let's just say that it was this case, which it wasn't, but I use seg every time. Well, I don't want to have to go into every job and have to define seg every time. And the kid's name was Josiah. I'm not stroking out Josiah every time. I do Joss. You know, instead of the 3 strokes, I do 2. With Joss, it comes out every time. Okay? Just stuff like that. Attorney's names, stuff like that are in that job. So now every time that I move on to another job, now I have to reread that job in with my main and the job dictionary from the other 2 jobs. Does that make sense?
When you say read in, you mean like, is that another word for include in?
Translate.
Translate.
Translate. So I have to retranslate the job. Remember? How do you translate the job? That was a long time ago. So I'm not going to whack you if you don't know, but I would hope you would know.
Untranslate or translate?
Órale. Translate. You want to the job. Translate the job.
T?
No.
Huh?
Alt-T?
Alt-T.
I knew it.
Do it.
Alt-T.
Do it on your machine. Do it on your computer, Alt-T. And it's going to bring up that little box of this, okay? So now in my dictionary, now I want to come up here, because it's already going to do my dictionary. It's going to have the notes, for that day, whatever day it was, the text for that day also, and I want to come in here and do dictionaries and then select the day that I did it on, that I edited that job on. So for me, it's going to be a day, like 9/1/16. For y'all, it might have been Edward Segura. You know, if it was a deposition. So you name that job. I don't name my jobs when I edit them. The jobs that I edit are in the day. Remember? Yeah? Okay? So you have to remember that, because if you go in there and like what I do is I go in and I edit for that day, and then I pull it out, create a new job for that, remember? Where I copy that job. How do you copy?
Yes.
Control C.
Control C. Mark it, Control C. Now I created a new file for it. How do I do that? Open a file, which is what?
Alt-E.
Alt-E, very good.
Good.
And then you create the name. So it's going to give you that little prompt down here. It's going to say, so then you create the name. It says, well, that name doesn't, that file doesn't exist. I know it doesn't. Do you want to create it? Yes, I do. And it asks you again, do you want to create it? Are you sure? Yes, I do. So then it brings you to a blank page. How do you read that job in?
Control V.
Control V. Remember? So to copy is C, Control C. To paste is Control V. All right? So now that I've named that job, I don't want to put that job in there because it's not a dictionary, it's just a job. I need the dictionary from where I edited the job, which was in the day. So I need the day file. So then I put the day in there and then retran it. And it's going to ask you, this job already exists. Do you want to retranslate this job? Yes, I do. Because I just added, my main's already in there, but I re-added the other dictionary.
The job dictionary.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I haven't done that. Like it just, everything just translates. I don't have any job dictionaries.
Weird. And all your
I know, all my years
court
of
reporting.
experience.
And you're not going to have done that yet, okay? But you're gonna know how to do it. So the day that you get out of here, you're gonna know how to do it because I'm gonna teach you how to do it. So we're gonna do a day like that, and we're gonna sit here and just, I'm gonna dictate stuff to y'all, and then we're gonna copy it, and we're gonna create a new one, and we're gonna name it. So you're gonna know how to do it. I don't care if you ever use it again, you're gonna know how to do it. You in the back. You had a question? Veronica? No?
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Now this is where they're going to talk about selecting dictionaries. Pay attention.
Let's see how to select the dictionaries that will be used for translation and for globaling. I'll open my user settings and go to the Dictionaries dialog. This indicates the dictionaries that will be used by default each time the translator starts. Here's the name of my main dictionary. By default, each job has its own dictionary, but you can specify a master job dictionary. So if you're working on a large case, you can say that you want all your job dictionary entries to go into one dictionary. This will keep you from having to manage a bunch of small dictionaries. Here you also see the name of a dictionary.
You see what it's telling you there? So you can create one large job dictionary. Okay? So you don't have to add all of these dictionaries. You can add it to a large main job dictionary. And then you go in, select it, and it's ready to go. And then you can have smaller ones. It's just a medical dictionary, and you can create like a asbestos, oil field, anything like that. You in the back.
Okay. Veronica.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So if I think I'm understanding this, I can always, like my medical dictionary, I can always, in lay terms, I can just, it's transportable from job to job, in other words. Do you understand what I'm saying? So today I'm working on the Smith case, and it happens to be a medical case.
Mhm.
I can go in and do my medical dictionary and add it as a subdirectory or a subdictionary like to this, like what they just did.
Yeah.
And let's say a month from now I'm working on the Hayes case, and it's also a medical one. I can go in and take my medical dictionary and apply it to the Hayes job dictionary.
Yeah.
So that's good. Okay,
Yeah.
Thank you.
So you can do it in real time. And I think they're going to show you here in just a bit how you set it up. Okay?
in brackets. That means that it will be available from the globaling dialog, but it is not being used for translation. If I want it to be used in translation, I'll put a check in the box next to Use in Translation. I'll press the OK button to save these changes. I've pressed Alt-T to open the Translate Notes dialog. Here are the dictionaries that I have set up.
So this is where you can kind of go in and do it. Now I know that you guys set up real-time differently. You probably just hit real-time, the real-time thing, and then it goes in there, right? Well, this is the other way of doing it, where you can select your dictionaries. Okay? Alt-T. Do it. So you see that it sets this box up, right?
Yes.
You select real-time, and it's automatically going to go to real-time, and then you select whatever job dictionaries you want. So if you're going to practice that day on medical stuff, do that. Okay?
Okay, so did you say go to Alt-T and then you click on real time and then dictionaries button? Yeah. Okay. And then select.
If you want to add, if you have a dictionary already set up that you want to use that day for dictation that you're going to use. So if you're taking the Hayes case and it's a medical, then this is where you would do it. Dictionaries, medical, boom. Okay?
If I want to make a change that will affect only the upcoming translation, I would use the Dictionaries button. But if I want to make a change that will be remembered as part of my user settings, I would click on the gear icon or press Alt-U.
Got that? Not splitting the atom, but good stuff. Okay? Any questions about that? I'll take that as a no. Okay, here what they're telling you to do is how to kind of set up, I guess, a dictionary. Okay? And it's saying press Alt-U to open up your user settings, then press Alt-D to open up the dictionaries. You're going to go Alt-U, and then Alt-D. Okay? And then move to line 1 and press the add button, and then you can put medical in there. Okay? And then press the enter key, and then it lets Eclipse create a new dictionary close to the dialogues. Okay? Use the globaling process, which is G. So if you're going to go in there and you're going to create medical terms and whatever, then do it. And you're going to use the same thing as you global. G, which is global, or Control G for multiple strokes, remember?
Right.
Okay? Don't worry about the steno. These are examples of how two identical strokes could, let's see, have different meanings in different situations. The main dictionary entry might be for an easy misstroke, while the entry to the medical dictionary might be an abbreviation for an organ or a procedure. So this is where your medical dictionary would come in handy, okay? So where ABD might be and in your main dictionary, ABD down here is going to be abdomen, okay? So by doing Control M, puts it in your main. So that's when you want it as and. But Control 1, because when you put it in your dictionary, remember we did the Alt-U, Alt-D, and it's right here for 1. So now that you put it in, it's not your main, because that's Control M. Control J is job. Now Control 1 is whatever you have in there. So that's how you're going to create your dictionary. Your specific dictionary, whether it be oil and gas, medical, names of cars, whatever. Whatever it is, okay? And that's how you create it, and that's how you're going to put it in there. So when you global it now, ABD is going to be abdomen, and you want that because it's a good stroke. ABD in your main is going to be a misstroke of and. Remember? Ariana? Remember that?
Say it again, sorry. I'm trying to do the abdomen part.
Huh?
Say it again. It's still trying to like global it and then add it to my medical dictionary.
Yeah.
But when I click Control 1, it says, in order to save globals there, you must select a User 1 dictionary. So my User 1 dictionary, I have to rename it to medical?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to have a name in here.
Okay.
So you have to put something in there. So I was telling you how to do it, and I think it's Alt. Let me back up.
Alt-D.
Alt-U and then Alt-D.
Alt-U, then Alt-D, and then it's
Alt-1.
Alt-1. Alt-1 opens up the number 1, so do it. Do it. So it's Alt-U opens this up. Okay? Then Alt-D opens this up, and then Alt-1 puts it right there. So now I want to put
Medical. Or whatever.
add.
Add.
And then you put medical in there. See, I already have a medical dictionary. And then you press OK, and it should put it in there. Okay? I'm not going to go through the whole thing because I'm not going to mess mine up. For you cats. All right?
Got it.
Got it. All right? So now, when you do the Control 1, it should put it in there. Did it?
Hold on.
Oh.
Sorry.
Well, it is. It is going to do it. So that's actually pretty cool, okay? Whereas LUP is going to be lip, it's a misstroke in your main. If you want it in there, great. If not, then it's going to be, you can use LUP as liposuction in your medical dictionary, and that's what your, I don't know that I do one stroke. I would always do like lup for liposuction. So mine would always be 2. So it's going to be, it's not going to coincide with my main, okay? Because the only way it's going to coincide with my main is if I have lup for Lipinski. I don't know. And it's Lupinski, Lipinski. It's Mr. Lipinski, and I'm doing lup, Mr. Lup. That's the only way it's going to be, but I shouldn't really have it in my main anyway, okay? Because usually proper names aren't going to be in your main dictionary, okay? The ones that I hear all the time usually are, like Gonzalez, Garza, Smith, but those are, I hear them all the time. Smith is a 1 stroke, so it's going to be the same all the time, unless it's Smith for like Mr. Smithsonian. I don't know, okay? Then that's the only reason it would be different, but it's not going to be in my main dictionary because I'm not going to use Smith all the time unless he's a client of mine, which is not that big of a deal. You can always put Smith in there and then it just comes up Smithsonian. All right?
So we can play with this and, like you said, we can create however many dictionaries we want because this is the tutorial,
There, well,
right? Because it says files in lessons, so it shouldn't mess
Yeah.
up anything, right?
shouldn't. And then you just go back in and read it back in. But if you're putting it in your main dictionary and it has your name in there, it's probably putting it in your main dictionary. So you want to be careful with what it's saying. If it says tutorial on there, then it's probably going in a tutorial dictionary. Okay? I'm just showing you how to do it. And, you know, like Ariana was messing around with it. What did it have on there on your main? Did it?
No, it's a tutorial, so it's not saving it as where it says like in your medical dictionary.
Yeah.
Control 1, it doesn't let me save it, so.
Okay. So it's just showing you how to do it. No big deal. But when you go back into your real stuff, not your lessons anymore, and you go into your real stuff, then that's how you're going to do it. Now it's going to save it. Okay?
Let's see how to optimize your Total Eclipse dictionary display. Eclipse dictionary information is presented in columns, and each column heading is actually a sort button. So you can click on the text column heading to sort your entries alphabetically. The program also keeps track of when each entry is created, modified, and used. And you can sort.
Remember we talked about that? So if you want to see how many times you've used it, when the last time you used it, when you made it, created it, when you modified it, if you ever did, and the last time that you used it, how many times the artificial intelligence has used it for you, you can go in, okay? You can see that. Here's, you haven't used it very much. Maybe you're not going to use it. Or maybe it's just a bad stroke that someone put in there, like UT for you, thee, or out thee. If you've used it one time, you, thee, or out thee, I don't know. So you can decide whether you want to keep it or not, and you can. If you want to keep it, great. If not, you know. But that's what all of this information is telling you, okay? And you can put in the comment things, well, this is a stack thing for me. So whenever I stack, that's, you know, that's what's happening right there, okay? So you see what it is. It's the have period is the stacking. See what it's telling you? I'll take that as a yes.
Yes.
Sort by each of these categories of information. You can also sort by the number of times an entry is used, the number of conflict resolution rules that Eclipse Artificial Intelligence has learned for an entry, and the number of stenostrokes or words that make up an entry. Perhaps you'll only want to show a few columns of information so that you can choose a larger display font. You can still see all the information for an entry by opening the steno bar.
You see what it's doing? So if you just want to change it up, you need it bigger. You can change the font on these things and it's going to change up, you know, your stuff over here. But once you click on it, it's still going to give you the information. All right?
Shift Control F5 will show or hide the note bar. The vertical display of your steno can make it much easier to read. But here you will also see all the information you would normally see in.
So now it gives you all the information. You've clicked on this one thing, and this gives you all the information for that one thing now. Now it just puts it over here. So it gives you more room to kind of see more things. It just makes it bigger, okay? What is that?
To make it bigger.
Yeah,
Control Shift F7.
5.
5 is fine.
Shift control.
Hide and control this is the note bar. Okay?
So if you hide that, it's gonna make it bigger.
It's going to make it smaller because it's going to put all the information back on there. Control it, Shift F5 puts everything over here so it makes it bigger.
Oh, okay.
Okay? So it's going to put it back and forth. It's going to toggle it.
Columns, even if you've reduced the size of some columns to a width of 0.
Okay? Any questions about that?
No.
I'll take that as a
No.
no.
Nope.
Let's see how to make dictionary additions or changes. The globaling process is certainly one way to add entries to your dictionary. But even if you don't have a text document open, whenever you think of an entry you'd like to add to your dictionary, you can simply press Control D. It might just be a name that you know you'll need to write.
See what it's telling you? What I just told you about 20 minutes ago, about the adding entries. Control D, okay? Brings up that little machine thing, you press the letters on the machine, put it, you know, and it's for words that you're gonna hear. It's like, unicycle. Man, somebody said that today, unicycle. You know what, I should put that in my dictionary, 'cause I'm probably gonna use that a ton. But it's in your dictionary, so if you want to put it in there, you can. The next time I use it will be the first time I use unicycle, okay? But you never know. But it's just giving you an example, okay? I'm just trying to be a funny guy, but you know, you're gonna hear words all the time that it's like, you know what? I'm probably gonna hear that. I'm probably gonna hear Whataburger. Dominoes, stuff like that. How would I stroke that? How would I stroke Dominoes? Put it in there. Mess with it a little bit. Is it going to conflict with something? You know? Okay? That's how you do it. Control D.
Just as you spell check your documents, so you can check the spelling of entries in your dictionary.
See what it's doing right there? So you can spell check in your dictionary too. Okay? And you can bring up, well, I don't know if it's substrate or not, but I know that substrate is the act of changing a tire really quick. I don't know, whatever. But I think it's that. But I'm going to check the definition. So you bring up the definition, and it's no, it's the act of being able to trim a tree. Oh, well, then that wasn't it. It was subtrist. Oh, subtrist. Yeah, that's the act of blah, blah, blah. So this is really good then, when you know what the word pretty much means, but it's like, I don't know if that's the right one or not. Is it substrata or substrate? Well, I know that substrata or substrata is the act of trimming a tree, and the other one is the act of changing a tire really quick. I don't know. You know the definitions, so now you just check the definitions. And I tell you what it's really good on, and I didn't even, really know, and I'm, but illicit, 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 I think there's three of them. Illicit, illicit,
Illicit.
and illicit. And they all have totally different meanings. So you don't want to have an illicit drug. No, it's an illicit drug, okay? Well, I knew what it meant. It's a drug that's, against the law, whatever. So I just checked it there. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, well, I need to be able to remember what that is and be able to stroke it differently than illicit and illicit. Okay? So that's where that comes in handy. Any questions about that?
No.
Really good.
Yeah.
Okay, how are we gonna do this? $25,000. How do you define it?
You leave 25 alone and you global $1,000.
You global $1,000
It's 1,000 and then dollars.
and then dollars. Yeah. Okay. So, do you have to define 25,
No.
Ariana?
No.
No. You just define 1,000 by itself, dollars by itself. And it's going to know that when it's with a number, it knows to put it together now. when you define it correctly. That makes sense? So, when's the only time that you have to define it with the number?
When you write it out. When you write the number out.
No.
No?
Anyone? Good guess.
Never,
Huh?
never.
You're gonna
When
get
it's
whacked.
like 25 table.
Have you been
right?
watching the videos?
Yeah.
I know you're new, but, huh?
When it's like 25 tables, right?
No. When it's like 5 o'clock and you do the 5K. When you do it in one stroke, where the number's with the letter, remember? Or you do
Yes.
$205 and you do 205D. Remember on the 5D? That's the only time that you're gonna put the number, and the number has to go in the definition. So that's the only time that it needs to be defined together, remember?
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah, now I remember. And if you don't remember, go back and watch that video on numbers. Okay? Go back and watch that lesson on numbers. All right? And it's going to show you exactly how to define it. I'm telling you, numbers is the biggest one. Once you got the numbers thing down, you're going to be all right. You don't, life's going to be complicated for a little bit. Okay, this is kind of cool. So, how do you get into your dictionary?
F9.
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 What'd you say, lady?
I said all D.
Go sit outside for a little bit. No, it's F9. Okay, do it. F9. Select it. Select your dictionary. So get into your dictionary. Now, what's the find?
F.
F.
F5. Now do F5. So now it has this. So now you can find a stroke, anything. So you can do the steno or the text. And then find it and replace it with whatever you need to. So if there's something that you know is wrong, you can go in there and fix it. Okay?
Okay.
So the F5 works in your dictionary also. Okay? Good. Or F
Okay.
in hyperkeys also. So that's what it was telling you before. So you can use F in there too, in hyperkeys. But it's just easier for me to do the F5 on the find. Okay? And you can go through any of these things. So the steno shortcuts, you can do any steno, contains keys, contains strokes, starts with keys, starts with strokes.
Is this the one where you can find all the suffixes and the things like that?
No.
Wait a minute. Yeah, it is, on the right hand side.
On the
Preexisting
right, not with
suffixes.
the control 5.
No, I'm
not with the
saying
F5.
Yeah, you can, are you sure? I don't know. Text shortcuts?
I'm bringing my stick with me. It's ridiculous.
No, because this is what I was looking for, this, right here. That's what I wanted
Yeah,
to do, right?
yes.
So if I
Very
wanted
good.
to look at all of them, I just press OK like that? And I don't have any, because this is the
You don't have
tutorial
any,
one.
yeah.
Well, this is the tutorial one. No, I
I'm gonna whack
don't.
myself.
No, I don't, I got it right.
No, because I thought you was wrong. But that's where it is. So when you open it,
Just like to know.
F9. And then right with this one. You can kind of go down and look at those. And it says prefixes, suffixes, numbers,
Oh my
phrases,
gosh.
conflicts,
This is so cool.
capitalized words, stuff like that. There's other ways of going in your dictionary too, which is the F9, you know, whatever. And then over here in the Global Magic, when you go into your actual dictionary, this may not be your actual dictionary. That's just a tutorial dictionary. But when you go in there, it's going to give you those examples over here. Well, what do you want to do? Do you want to find something? Do you want to do prefixes, suffixes, numbers, blah, blah, blah? Okay? This is where it's going to show you.
Let's see how to conduct dictionary searches. When you open the Find Dictionary Entries dialog, your cursor is placed in the text field. Let me type in correct and press OK. The display is filtered for me to show only the entries that contain correct.
Got that?
Yeah.
So that's how you go through and edit, modify, add to your dictionary. Okay? Really good stuff right there. All right? So it's really easy to find stuff. It's like, well, I need to find everything that, you know, begins with answer. I don't know. Maybe. But, I mean, we'll just kind of use correct too. So it's incorrect. All of these different ways to do incorrect. Really? One, that's not the way you do it anymore. Okay? So if you have this in here, you probably need to delete it. Okay? Because in is a prefix. So it should be defined separately. Remember? So in with everything. And it should be a way that you do it every time. That you know that it's going to be a prefix, remember? So it shouldn't really go with the word anymore. And just like incorrectly. Now if you do correctly in one stroke, then yeah, that's going to be correct. But if you do it in 3 strokes, where it's in, correct, and then li, that's wrong. Now, the way that the software tells you to do it now, there should be 3 separate entries. Okay? You understand what I'm telling you? Okay. So that's how you go through and correct. But it's going to tell you, you know what, I want to filter all of my corrects. So anything that has correct with it, it's going to show you. And you have 67 entries on correct. Okay? And then you just go through there and modify all 67 or add, delete, whatever.
These entries are currently sorted by steno, but remember that you can click on any column heading to sort by that category, so it would be easy to see when the different entries were used.
So you can go through and see the last time that you used it, and it's gonna now filter it down from top to bottom on the last time you used it, and it's gonna go from top to bottom the last time you used it. So you click on one of these things, and it's gonna tell you, what's the last text filter that I used? When did I create these? When was the last time that the first one that I created? All of those.
Or to sort the entries by the number of times they've been used. I'll return to an unfiltered display by opening the Find Dictionary Entries dialog and immediately pressing OK. Let's look at the dialog again. It contains a large number of shortcuts to help you find entries that meet specific steno or text patterns, and you can combine these searches. Let's say I want to find all my